Hello and welcome back. I am one of your co-hosts, Samantha Farlow with the Garrison Public Affairs Office.
And I am another co-host, Sergeant Lamont Shavers from the 69th Air Defense Artillery Brigade. Hello.
And I'm Specialist Kyra Pearl from the 11th Corps Signal Brigade. Hi.
And this is Fort Hood's Great Big Podcast.
The month of August is designated Anti-Terrorism Awareness Month, and the folks at the Fort Hood Force Protection Office are offering a wide variety of classes throughout the month and some tips right now.
That's right. I'm Master Sergeant Akinola Oladipo, anti-terrorism specialist for U.S. Army Garrison-Fort Hood. There are many telltale signs that someone may be leaning towards radicalization and even extremist violence. Know that radical and extremist views are totally against our Army values. Know the signs, know the facts, and know how you can help. In most cases, concerning behavior was observed before an attack. Don't be a bystander. Force protection starts with you.
To make a report here in the Fort Hood military community, the number to call is 254-288-COPS, 254-288-2677. That's 254-288-2677.
Hello, we have a special guest with us here today. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi. So I am Christine Luciano. I'm the Environmental Outreach Coordinator, also known as the Bacon Ninja, because it's the candy of all meats. And I usually like to run around with a green afro. And since we're starting to see some normalcy this academic year, I'm hoping to get out and involved with the schools and everything.
I love that.
So,
That's so
if
exciting.
anybody talks about some lady talking about bacon and showing off some ninja moves and her green hair,
It's you.
that's me.
Yeah, to come to you.
Good to know. I gotta leave my mark, my legacy. 'Cause
I love that.
So yeah, so
That's
you know,
awesome.
one of the most impactful things of doing this job for more than 15 years is I was at a youth conference 2 years ago, and there was a high school senior that said, "Hey, I remember when you came into my classroom when I was in third grade." I was
my
like,
gosh.
dear, that just tells
Heartwarming
you,
moment.
like the impression I make on these
Yeah.
youth, and that's the best part of this job right here.
That's awesome.
Get out, get involved, and reach out to not only the military youth, but soldiers and families, and hopefully have that impact that they take it beyond, their workplace and home and into the community. So
That's incredible.
it's an awesome job.
Wow, I love that.
Plus, I got to do it for 22 more years.
Yeah,
Maybe
woohoo!
even longer since I have twins. So yes.
Yeah, you're going to be here for a while.
Yeah.
How exciting for you.
So I'll probably be hanging out with Pearl because she's got her 9-month-old. I've got 15-month-olds. So you guys need to catch up.
Oh,
pass.
definitely. Lamont, that's you. You're up first.
Not at all. I mean, I'll borrow someone's
Oh,
child.
there you go. I'm up
definitely
for
worth
that.
it.
Borrowing.
I think some parents would be welcome to that.
I'm
Like,
sure
here,
they
you
would.
can have.
Take for an hour.
Take
Yeah,
it for
I'll
a day.
return.
How about
Yeah.
for the weekend?
I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, but look, as long as I can keep them for X amount of time, and then when things just get too hectic,
just hand
I
it
just
right back.
I just drop them off like, hey,
Here you go.
hey, mom, she's back.
But you don't understand. It can get hectic like that so quick. So,
Yeah, max an hour then. Well, thanks for being on the show with us today. We appreciate it. Will you tell us, so Fort Hood here is just, it's massive. And there's just so much you can do with the environment in general. Could you just kind of walk us through, what being green is and what Fort Hood offers?
So, environmental is such a huge umbrella on Fort Hood. And people just think about environment and recycling. And there's so much more beyond that. We do recycling. We have the Army's largest single stream recycle program. And, we've made recycling easy so that you can just commingled all your recyclables and throw it in the bin.
That's awesome.
But we just want people to recycle the right stuff.
Right.
Yes. We don't want animal parts. We don't want dirty
Oh my.
diapers. We
You
don't
know.
want live ammunition or lithium batteries. And I'm telling you this, and you laugh, But, it's scary because this happens on a regular basis.
No.
Wow.
So, we'd like to tell people, think about who's working at the recycle facilities.
Right.
These are, spouses, they're veterans, they're someone's daughter, someone's son, brother and sister. And, in the past 2 years, there's been 8 fires at Fort Hood Recycle that have caused more than $100,000 in damage.
Oh my God.
Because
insane.
people are not putting the right stuff in the right container. There's even pictures, like, look at the photos and match, like elementary
easy,
students.
I can do it.
That's
Okay.
right.
And, and we have an app called Fort Hood Recycle. So if you ever question anything, you can look at the app and say, hey, is this something that I take to the recycle center? Is this something that can be placed in any of the blue containers on the installation or taken to one of our other facilities called the classification unit? So these are items that you find, underneath your sink, in your garage, in your shed. So the batteries, the light bulbs, the biggest thing is paint. We have so many families that have PCS to the area. They go to a house and it mysteriously appears in the garage. There's cans of paint, and we just kind of push that into a corner because we don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
We don't want to throw it in the trash because we know
Feels
that's
bad.
bad.
Yeah.
So we just kind of out of sight, we're not going to think about it. So, this is a free year-round service that we offer that individuals can take their products there. And we're all about the 3 R's, reduce, reuse, recycle.
Of course.
So if something can be reused with, families PCSing, you can't take those cleaners, those paints, those oils, with you. You can take it there. It's stored at our facility. And so anyone with a DOD ID card can see what's available and, reuse those materials.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So, I mean, when I got married a few years ago, I was like, okay, I need to repurpose these mason jars. Let me see what's there. And so someone donated 30 brand new cans of pistachio green spray paint.
Wow. 30. Very specific. Wow. That's a lot of a very specific color.
And so they were $5.99 each.
Oh, wow.
So, I took 5 of them and I repurposed these mason jars and then returned whatever I didn't use. So,
Nice.
there's an opportunity for reusing. You have families that are PCSing, so you can go by Fort Hood Recycle, pick up cardboard boxes. If you're doing something with your unit, you need some pallets, or maybe there's a fall festival, you want to repurpose them to make something, and then you can go by the classification unit, get some paint, some stains, and help redecorate. And down from that facility is our natural and cultural resources facility. So we have something, this is a tongue twister. I'm going to try to see if any of you can say it 3 times.
Oh, no.
Bird, bee, bat, butterfly garden.
Ooh, I'm not even going to try.
I don't even know what you just said.
So those are all kinds of different pollinators you see in this area. So birds, bees, bats, and butterflies. So we have, we have a bat house. We have a lot of different native plants to give you an idea of what you can plant in your area to attract those pollinators and help. Pretty soon monarchs are going to be migrating through the area. Our biologists, the past couple of years, they capture, tag, and release, more than 2,000 monarchs.
Wow.
And I call myself the bacon ninja. Man, those monarchs, these biologist ninjas are fast because it is quite
incredible.
challenging to chase after a monarch and catch it with a net and everything.
I keep getting stuck on the bats are pollinators. How did I not know this?
Yes. So we have a bat house, and we have a gentleman out there who's one of our wildlife biologists that's known as the Batman.
Ooh, that's a nice name.
Yeah.
So he is the expert. But our biologists are doing lots of great stuff. And right in that footprint, it's a 2-acre area that's part of our pollinator sanctuary. So there's a trail that, anybody is welcome to go out there. Sometimes we just need an opportunity to de-stress. And along that trail is some signage about some of the, the native wildlife and plants you'll see in this area. And that leads you also to a meditative space. So last year, as a part of a Make a Difference Day project, we had soldiers that volunteered their time, assembled some benches, mulched an area. And then there's some tips out there of how to just de-stress, relax, and meditate and become one. And
That's so awesome.
That is dope.
I think I need
so
that.
it's really great. I mean, if you go out there, you're just amazed by the variety of different butterflies you'll see out there, the bees and everything. And it's just amazing. And then even tongue twister, hummingbirds, So I can go out there and I could just spend easily, 30 minutes to an hour just taking pictures and everything. So it's a great escape, for the community, going out there with your family, for the single soldier. Anyone can go out here and enjoy these spaces. So
that's awesome.
So yeah, we do a lot. And right next door, it's a little different currently because of the COVID environment, but we also have archaeologists. So, we have some artifacts on Fort Hood, and, our archaeologists highlight some of the historic and prehistoric sites, and it gives you some insight of the community and what has happened here. Plus, you get to see, part of a mammoth bone.
That's awesome.
You see some spears, some atlatls. So sometimes we do host public events with our archaeologists. October is Texas Archaeology Month, so it's a great opportunity to do some spear throwing.
Yeah.
So maybe we could do, a little something one-on-one with PAO.
Yes,
I think we're signing up for that.
Absolutely.
I will say a few weeks ago, we had a homeschool group out there. So the ages varied from 6 to 16 years old.
Boy.
So there was a 7-year-old that went with the spear and everything, had the atlatl. There was a target, hit dead center.
Wow.
I was like, that's phenomenal. I was like, I'm a mom of twins. Yeah. I can do this. I felt like I threw my back out and almost fell to the ground.
Oh,
no. So yeah, there's a little bit of technique. It doesn't matter what age you are, what your build is. It's really interesting to see the impact just based on the techniques that you have. So yeah, there's a lot of fun things that happen under the environmental umbrella that we want the community to be aware of, the programs and services and the opportunities where we can reach out to the community or the community can come out to us too.
Yeah, that's incredible. Could you, for people who want to know where this stuff is, do you have a phone number or a place that they could look up an address? Or
the best thing is to like the Fort Hood Recycle page.
Okay.
So, we highlight everything, not only with recycle, but everything under the environmental umbrella too. And, we have biologists that do have a page that's called, and this is a tongue twister too.
Oh boy.
It's the Fort Hood Adaptive and Integrative Management Team, Fort Hood AIM, AIM
okay.
team.
Okay.
And our biologists do regular posts about the work that they're doing and some of the pollinators that you can see out in their footprint. So that's a really great page to like and follow. And they also have an address on there that will take you to that footprint.
Okay, that's awesome. Cool. Yeah. Well, we are going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Colonel Chad Foster, the Garrison Commander here at Fort Hood. And I just want to give you some reminders of all the things that all of us need to do to help keep our kids safe as we start the new school year. First, all of the speed limits for our school zones are back in effect throughout the installation. Additionally, be safe as you're driving around school buses. No passing of those buses while they're downloading and uploading their young passengers. All of our crossing guards will be out to help us keep everything safe throughout this entire school year. And please, I would also ask you to stay off your cell phones because we're not allowed to talk on our cell phones while we're driving anywhere on the installation, but especially not in our school zones. Thank you.
All right, as we just heard, schools are back in session, which means a very, very, very special program is also back in session. Yay!
Yay! Exclamation mark. You got to make sure you have that exclamation mark.
Yes.
So, YAY stands for Youth Environmental Ambassadors Program. So Fort Hood is part of a regional partnership that includes the installation in 8 neighboring communities. And one of the things that we developed was, yay, exclamation mark, to encourage youth of all ages from pre-K 3 to seniors in high schools to have a positive impact in community stewardship and also environmental stewardship. So, it's really great to teach them about volunteer service and making a difference and giving back, and show that their impact can go beyond the classroom, into their community and into their home. So we have a series of several different initiatives. Some of them are one day, some of them are a month long, some of them are several months long. So they focus on a variety of things from energy conservation to litter cleanups to recycling, beautification. There's a lot of things that schools can do, and they've had a positive impact. I know that it's been challenging due to the COVID environment,
right.
But with our partnership with the School Liaison Office and with the Adopt a School Unit, there's been a lot of passion about that partnership and leveraging those resources to have that connection with the military community and then also with our schools together.
That's incredible.
So such a powerful program.
It is. It is. So, and it's so much fun. And there's a lot of great things that are going on that are related to the EA program that we just don't know about. So we want to highlight those schools and those successes and get the word out. So, it's a few more months before we started off, but it's always good to get the information out because, the first few weeks, the first month of school is just challenging and hectic for parents,
chaos all
for
around.
teachers, for administrative staff. So, we are working on updating everything and pushing that out to the school districts. The beginning of September. So, we're going to embed everything into a packet so they can click on a link and it takes them directly to the program and gives their information. So to start off with the academic year, we have Lights Out Lunch. So we start that in October, which is Energy Awareness Month. And then we have that end in April, which is Sustainable Environment Month. So the goal is something simple and small. Turn off the lights in the cafeteria or in your classroom once a month. You want to get into that regular habit. And so, some schools do it that one time for the first month. And they said, this is too easy. We can do this more than once a month. Or, let's dedicate 15 minutes of every day to turn the lights off in our classroom. So that's something. Another thing that we have is the Texas Recycles Poster Contest that starts in October. And the last 2 years that we had the contest, we selected a design from the students and we used that for a Fort Hood Earth Day t-shirt design.
That's awesome.
So it's awesome to highlight the work. So the first year was actually a special ed class from Reeses Creek Elementary School. So it was a cowboy boot that had the Texas flag on it, and the spur was actually a recycle symbol. And it said, kick the habit, recycle, y'all. I was like,
oh my goodness.
That's perfect. And it shows you how something so simple can have such an impactful message. Yeah. So, we want to highlight the artwork, get the word out, and that art contest leads into the next competition, which is the recycle competition, which starts on America Recycles Day, November 15th, for 1 month's time. And so you collect your recyclables, see how much you gather, collect that weight, and then you determine by the population. Say, based on our school's population, there was 5 pounds per individual collected. Wow. So it doesn't matter if you're a large school, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm competing against a school with 1,000 students and we only have 400 students. Doesn't matter because it's going by population.
Right.
So we try to make it pretty fair. So, that's a competition where the top leading school will win $200 to help out with their future initiatives.
That's awesome.
So, there's a lot of great opportunity. We try to do these $200 grants so that we can help students and their student organizations with their future initiatives. Because, let's be honest, they'll do a fundraiser, and I've gotten them, and I know you guys will get them soon one day, where it's like, hey, go to this restaurant, and, 5% of the proceeds goes back to the school. So,
I did that in college.
That's a lot that you would have to earn just to get $200. Right. And again, some of these students are already doing this. We just want to highlight and document and then reward them for it.
That's
and
incredible.
give them some recognition, the opportunity that we find out about these events. And when schools are hosting it, we want to get our leadership involved. We want to get the city managers, the mayors, the garrison commander to volunteer alongside these youth and say, hey, you're a leader too. Yeah. You're 5 or 6 years old and you're making such a huge impact. Absolutely. And, with high school students, scholarships. Yeah. It's all about that volunteer service. To build up that volunteer resume so that you can make yourself marketable for that. Because college is expensive.
It is.
Definitely. That's such a cool idea, though, because it makes a memorable impact while they're young so they can get the habit started and learn the importance of it. Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah. And then you can say you were impacted by the bacon ninja,
that's
the
right.
afro. Yeah. So, it's a lot of fun. So we do have a page dedicated to the partnership, Centex Sustains, on Facebook. And so we will be posting this on there. So, if you know an educator, a principal, a parent liaison, somebody that can help lead this initiative within your school, we are here to provide support.
So for kids who are participating, they obviously are learning lots. How do you ensure that those kids are taking what they've learned at school home
So you see that students become so passionate when they're personally invested in something. They see that they're making a difference. And when they get that recognition and say, hey, kudos to you for you doing this, So that's why we take the opportunity to recognize them at award ceremony. Even if you didn't win like the top competition, we still want to present certificates and say, hey, we recognize what you did and your impact. And when we see these parents at other public events, they're like, hey, so my daughter or my son had told me that I am throwing recyclables away. And that's money right there that can come directly to Fort Hood. So on average, Fort Hood Recycle gives $100,000 back directly to the community to support fireworks, single soldiers, UFC fight nights, a variety of soldier and family events. And so when students and when soldiers and families realize that the impact of something going green by recycling, it's also generating some green that comes right back to the community. So then we want them to think of that that aspect, and that hopefully that motivates them to have more of an impact. But every time we engage students in the school, we see that they become very passionate, and that the light bulb goes off. It's like, hey, I need to take this and practice it. And so then they pressure their parents, and it just has this positive domino effect.
That's awesome.
That's super dope, because it's not that I did not care. Just
you care a lot more now.
Because the bacon ninja
that's right.
is going to be watching you like around the corner and be like, what did you do with that?
So when I was in college, I took a class called Hazardous Waste Management. And it was just an elective. I was like, whatever. I'm just going to take this class. It seems somewhat interesting. But I actually learned a lot from that class, and I took several more environment classes after that, because it really went in depth. Like, hey, okay, this is a landfill, but this is a certain type of landfill. These are the other types. This is what this one does. This is what they all do to the environment. And then there was one of those cool posts that you have to do in online school. Like, you got to do 250 characters, reply to 2 people, fun stuff. But there was one that really got me, and it was saying, I've never cared about the environment. I'm 50-something years old, but this class changed my entire life. And now my wife and I are recycling. And I'm like, whoa. So I really think that education is the key piece in all of this, because it's not that a lot of us don't care, but if you're not educated, if you don't know what leaving these things on the ground or killing off these animals do, it's not just blatant ignorance. It's somewhat accidental, I would say. So when we educate people, specifically kids, I really think that has a monumental impact.
Yeah, definitely.
Completely agree.
Yeah, I think the thing that's always stuck with me the most is when you think about like how long it takes for something to like actually disintegrate and decompose. It's insane, honestly. Like a plastic bag just takes so long.
Yeah.
And it just makes you want to be a better person.
So I have a glass bottle that I take. It's an older Coca-Cola glass bottle. So it's the thicker glass. It's about 60 years old. And so I take that to presentations for school and public events. So it was actually found on a site on Fort Hood. They were breaking ground for construction of a new facility, and they found that there was a bunch of trash and litter dumped there, 60 some years ago.
Yeah.
So we take it to these events, and I always get a volunteer, even, parents, hey, I want you to take this glass bottle and I want you to try to break it in half. So they're like, with all their might, and they can't, and I say, how old do you think this bottle is? They're like, I've seen that bottle at Cracker Barrel. It's probably like a day old or maybe a year old. And I said, no, this bottle was thrown away before you were born, before your parents were born, and probably when your grandparents were your age.
Yeah.
So think about over the last 60 years, this bottle did not get weaker over time. And they say that glass can take 1 million years to decompose.
Yeah.
So when they think about that, like, man, this bottle has been here longer than, some of my grandparents have even been alive, maybe even my great-grandpa or great-grandma, that's where it clicks. And even for adults too, they say, wow, so I really need to think about what materials am I purchasing? What are some things that I can reduce? And what are some things I can reuse? So we just go back to the 3 R's, reduce, reuse, recycle.
Love that.
And just think, yay!
Yay!
Exclamation point. There you go. We want everybody to be an environmental ambassador, not just children, but parents, soldiers, everyone to do their part. And, one simple action, everybody does something, really adds up.
Yeah, that's incredible. Well, any final thoughts from anybody?
No, I would just like to say, if you're interested more about learning about Fort Hood's environmental program, recycle program, or the partnership, like us on Facebook, Fort Hood Recycle, and Centex Sustains. Yay! Exclamation mark.
Well, great. Well, thanks so much for being on the show with us. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
We'll be right back.
Flash floods in central Texas happen within only a few hours of rain. Every year, more than 80% of flood fatalities involve vehicles, and about 10 people drown in their vehicles each year in Texas. Vehicles of every size can lose control, float, and roll over in flood conditions. Is taking the risk worth it? Is it worth the risk of leaving loved ones behind? Overconfidence kills. Don't drive through floodwater. It's not worth it.
I just love how the Adopt a School program and the YAY program work so closely together. It's amazing.
Yeah, I always love it when people collaborate. It's so nice.
Collabs are so
everyone
nice.
Working together.
Teamwork.
Collabs.
Speaking of collaborating, where is Brianna
Yeah,
today?
I know. I know. I was gone last week, which you guys did great, by the way.
Thank
and now
you.
she's gone.
Please don't leave.
I'll try my best not to.
Yeah, she's somewhere being old. I think she's I don't know. I think she's at the doctor's. She's,
Probably got to get her back checked. Yeah, hips checked.
My
breaking a
hip. I'm Corporal Brianna Doo.
Oh boy.
We really do need to have like all of us here one day though.
I know. Yeah, we're really bad about that. Sorry, everybody who listens. You just get, a little bit of each of us here and there. Spice it up.
I'm so
Change it
excited.
up.
Oh, so sorry. No, you're right. I'm so excited that the school season's back because that means fall in my eyes.
I know. I love fall so much. I just hate the heat. So living here in Texas is the worst place that I could be because it is hot here
Exactly.
all the time. It's really annoying.
I am from Ohio, and I love, not even just fall. I like being in the middle of the winter because
wow, aggressive.
it's like, for me, I think back to those days where I would just walk outside. There was like a foot of snow at least, and you just walk around, start shoveling driveways, and you make tons of money. But as you're walking, all you hear is the crunch of snow on your feet.
Oof.
And there's nothing in the air because there's no life. All the birds are gone. All the bugs have gotten inside the trees or deep in the ground.
That's not dark
And
at
there's
all.
just-
Life.
It's you in total silence.
Total silence. But it's just that stillness and that peace that I really miss about wintertime back home. But
That's
of course,
such a nice
here,
sentiment.
I mean, it's the winter. 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. It's still hot.
You're
still wearing
still
shorts
hot.
and t-shirts.
Animals are still hanging around.
Except we did have that giant freeze here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But that's a fluke. That's not normal.
I
was
the
in
orange
Korea, so-
trees.
Oh, well. You missed the orange trees?
Yes, the
Yeah,
leaves.
the golden. Yeah.
They don't change as much in Texas as they do back in Missouri.
Yeah. I feel like everything here is just really green and then it's gone and then that's it. Like,
Exactly.
oh, okay. I guess we're in winter. I wouldn't know because it's still 100 degrees outside.
It's still hot outside. I thought there was supposed to be snow in the United States. I suppose not.
I just want to wear my tall boots and my sweaters and
Cozy season.
yeah, cozy. Can't do that here. You're sweating all the time.
Mm-hmm.
If you wear that outside, I believe that someone's going to think that you're insane.
Yeah, probably.
Pretty much.
You have to like dress for the office and then as you leave, have layers. So as you're walking out, well, you guys can't do that. I can though. 'Cause I'm a civilian. But normally, you're not at work. You have to dress for indoors and outdoors. It's very annoying.
Definitely.
Something like
Frustrating.
that.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do? Either way, we're back in school. School's in session again. So have fun, kids. Make sure you guys are staying safe out there.
Definitely.
Keep wearing your sunscreen, drinking your water. Yeah.
The sunburns out here get real bad.
Yeah.
I have one right now.
Oh, no. Any other final thoughts from anybody?
Well, I just want everybody to know that since school is back, remember, as you're driving, you need to be careful, okay? Because I don't want to get morbid, but people tend to not watch when they're driving. And, you know, kids are kids. Yeah. Kids are going to do some weird, random stuff. That's what they do.
Kids are reckless.
If you're in not even just in a school zone, but if you know you're in a neighborhood where kids are likely to be around, just drive a little slower.
Yeah,
I know we're all trying to like have our music super loud, but just turn it down just a little bit, you know, and pay attention where the little kids might just randomly jump in the road after their ball.
Yeah.
On the same line of thinking, but less morbid. You want to keep yourself from getting a ticket now that the school zones are back in action. So
absolutely. Great tips, guys.
Because I like my money.
I'm not giving that up. Gotta pry it from my hands.
You're not going to take my money.
Oh boy. All right, well, that's all I got. So
yeah.
See you next week.
Bye.
Have a good one. Bye.
This podcast is a U.S. Army Garrison-Fort Hood and Fort Hood Public Affairs production. The show's theme music is written and produced by Delicious All-Stars. All our music is obtained through Filter by Songtrader. Have a question or want to share some insights with us? Email us at forthoodpao@gmail.com. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at USAG Fort Hood. And as always, be sure to leave a review and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.